Hey guys, how you doing today? My name is Juana and this is my second video here on YouTube. So this channel, like I said before in the first video, is mostly for CNA slash nursing career related. So I just went online and searched for CNA must ask questions, and I got a good amount of questions that are really good to be answered. So these 10 questions, I have a list right here. These 10 questions are answered from my own experience and from my own point of view. So I hope you like this video and I hope you subscribe to my channel because I'm gonna be uploading very frequently. So let's get started with this questions. Okay, question number 1. What do you think are the qualities that make a good CNA? First of all, I think patience. If you're a CNA, if you ever think about becoming a CNA, know that most of the places that they hire CNAs are nursing homes. You're gonna be dealing with elderly people, old people, which most of the time suffer from dementia, which dementia is a damage in the short-term memory. So these people are not gonna be able to remember what they just had for lunch, what they just had for breakfast, what happened yesterday, what nurse they had yesterday, and sometimes you're gonna be repeating the same answer over and over and over again because they're gonna forget it, and it's not their fault. So be very patient when this comes to you. The same way you answered the first time with the same respectful, you're gonna have to be answering the next 3 times, because these people don't remember that they just asked you this question 5 minutes ago. So be very patient. That will help you a lot. That's a big key in this nursing related stuff. Okay, another big quality, I will say respectful. You have to respect everybody, co-workers, your boss, employees, your family members of your patients and your patients. So be very respectful. Keep your personal opinions for yourself, because sometimes this will lead to discussions with the residents. Like I told you before, you're gonna be working with elderly people who back in the days things were much different than what they are now. So just have that in mind. We nowadays are very open-minded and we don't care about sharing our opinions. But just have this in mind, have in mind that they don't think the same as we do. They didn't live their lives the same as we are living our lives. So just keep your personal opinions and personal decisions for yourself. Another big quality I think will be caring. You have to be able to care for people, because you need to care for people, especially for these people. You have to be able to want to work here. You have to be able to love your job. You have to love your job, basically. So if you are a person who don't care about others, who don't care about taking care of people, who don't care about other people, I don't know what you're doing, because nursing is basically about helping others. So just have that in mind. If you are not a person who likes to be around other person helping them, this might not be the job or the career for you. Question number 2. What will you do if a patient refuses to let you administer care? In my own experience, this haven't happened a lot of times with me, but I've seen like male CNAs, they have a hard time. I've only worked with like 3 male CNAs since I've been a CNA, and I've been a CNA for 2 years now. And sometimes we have to work together, because most of the time you're gonna have like a group of patients that you won't have to be responsible for. So you won't have to check on them. You won't have to give them care. yes, you take care of everybody in the facility, but most of the time you're just gonna be given a group of people just to focus your care on them. um, Sometimes female patients don't like to have male CNAs, so you have to kind of work with that coworker and kind of swap or switch residents so that he can have male residents, male patients, and you can have the female ones. That's like one of the best ways to work it out. Because yeah, if a patient refuses for you to take care of them, you cannot make them. You can not give them care if they are refusing. If it's whether you're gonna change their brief, you're gonna give them a bath, you're gonna change their clothes. If they don't want you to do it, you don't have to do it. You don't do it. You talk to the nurse in charge and tell her the situation. You explain to her that this patient don't want for you to go in the room, don't want for you to give them care. So that nurse is responsible for, to work out a plan where that patient gets to be taken care of. So that's basically what you do. You just go to your nurse in charge and explain her or him the situation. Number 3, what if a patient is becoming aggressive? Most of the time with dementia people, with people that have dementia, you're gonna have a few aggressive patients. Maybe because they suffer when they were younger, or maybe because some of them were raped, they're gonna become aggressive. Even if they are in the right mind, sometimes they're gonna become aggressive. So what you do, you never hit back, never talk to the patients in a bad way. Just leave the room, tell them I have to leave the room, and go to the nurse in charge. Tell the nurse what's happening, and he or she gonna have to create again like a care plan or like a plan to make it work. But yeah, just remember to be patient right here. Be patient, have the patience that it takes to walk out when a resident or a patient is cursing you out, because it's literally going to happen. Some of the patients are going to have racist comment towards you. I've been called many things since I've been working in nursing facilities. So just have in mind that most of the time it's not even personal. Most of the time is like they're gonna curse you now, and then next day they're gonna love you because they forgot what they told you last day. So just have that in mind. Always keep your calm, be calm. Never answer back the same way they are talking to you, like in a bad way. Never curse out, never, because you're gonna be fired. Just remember that you have a nurse. The nurse are gonna have to, I mean, it's bad to say it, but the nurse gonna have to deal with it. So yeah, just be respectful, even if somebody is telling you that they're gonna kill you, because that happens. They tell you, I'm gonna kill you, and you a whatever, but you just don't take it personal. That's the key. Don't take it personal. Number 4, how do you feel about administering personal care to patients of the opposite sex? With my experience, at the beginning is weird because you're gonna see a lot of things, but you're gonna have to think professional. You're gonna have to be professional. That's the key in here. They don't have other option. Just think that they don't like it either. Male patients might not like female residents and might not tell you and might not feel comfortable with you the same way that you don't feel with them, because it is hard, especially when you're doing clinicals, that you get to see everything, and it's just like, is this the place for me to be? Like, am I gonna be able to do this? And I had a few classmates who at the time we started doing clinicals, they were like, no, I'm not doing this. This is not for me. I don't like seeing or watching other people's private areas. So just have that in mind, you know, take it professional, be very, very professional. And with the pass of the time, you get used to it. You don't even matter, you don't even care about it. You're just taking care of these people, okay? Number 5, if under your charge a patient falls, what will you do? It depends. Like, if let's say you walk in Miss, I don't know, you walk in this lady to the bathroom and she says she feels dizzy, or she starts like falling and you holding her arm, don't let her fall, but don't try to catch her, because then you're gonna hurt yourself and you don't want to hurt yourself. So the best thing to do in this type of situation is basically you bring them to the floor. Don't let them fall, but like try to slow down the fall, if that makes any sense, so they won't hit the floor as hard as they will if you just let them fall. So that's what basically you do. Keep your back straight so you won't hurt your back. And when they in the floor, make sure that they okay, make sure that they don't hit their head, because that's like a big important part, the head. Ask them if they feel okay, see if they are responding, see how they acting, and call for help, holler for help, or if they doing okay, call the nurse. But the nurse will have to come and check on them, make sure everything is alright, make sure there is no broken bones, and then they gonna have to help you get the patient up. Yeah, that's like basically what you do. If you walk, let's say you walk into Mr. Peterson room, or like, I don't know who's Mr. Peterson, but let's just say Mr. Peterson. You walk into Mr. Peterson's room and you see him on the floor, unresponsive. You run to him, don't move the patient, just kind of tap on the arm, holler their name, ask them if they okay. If they say yes, I'm okay, you ask them, do you hit your head? And if they say no, it's the same same procedure. You're gonna have to holler for help, get the nurse, and they will check them. If the patient don't respond and they are DNR, which means do not resuscitate, you cannot do compressions, you cannot do CPR on them. So you won't have to get the nurse. If they are able to be resuscitated, you can start doing compressions. You just have to feel for the pulse and for if they breathing, you know, if they're responding. It's just a few keys that you have to follow, but don't try to move the resident, don't try to get them up by yourself. Always have the nurse with you. And sometimes if you see the patient falling, like if you see when they falling, the nurse will have you to write like a witness statement where you basically explain what happened, so they can take better care of the patient. Okay, number 6. How do you manage which resident to take care of first? Like I said before, basically most of the time in most of the facilities, you're gonna have a group of patients that you're gonna need to take care of. When you get familiar with these patients, you're gonna know who is more needy, who is less needy, who does everything for themselves, who needs help going to the restroom, who doesn't. You're gonna learn and you're gonna know every patient with the past of the time. So basically you just think about it. You just think about everything. Miss Angela needs help going to the bathroom after each meal, so just write like a care plan. Like I said before, with the past of the time, you're gonna meet the residents better, you're gonna know everyone in the facility. So that's what basically you do. You kind of think ahead and make like a little plan. if Miss Rose takes her shower first thing in the morning, just come in, do her shower, and then start a round. Like, you're gonna have to know these people. So it's gonna be hard at the beginning because everybody's gonna be calling you, and you're gonna feel like you have no time for yourself and no time for a break. But just, just have that in mind, that with the pass of the time, you are gonna get to know these patients better. Number 7. Okay, number 7. Are you gonna get emotionally attached to the patients? Yes. It's a hard decision when it's a hard situation actually when you get like super attached to the people you taking care of, and it's hard not to do it. Like, you're gonna have to have like that one patient who you feel like they are your grandparents. I've worked in a few facilities before, so at the time that I decided to go ahead and look for another job at another facility, that was like one of the hardest decisions, because I always thought about my patients there. Like, I always was like, I won't see you no more, I'm gonna miss these people, I'm gonna miss my residents, I'm gonna miss my co-workers. But just have in mind that getting emotionally attached to these people is super easy. You're gonna start loving them, you're gonna be with them. Sometimes even on your days off, you're gonna go and visit your favorite patient, which is like hard to say favorite patient, but let's be honest, you're gonna have a favorite patient. It's not a good thing to do because things happen, and maybe if this person dies, or if this person goes to another facility, it's gonna be hard on you. But you have to be tough to go over. But are you gonna get emotionally attached to them? Yes. Number 8, how do you deal with a difficult coworker? Difficult coworker. I know many of them. Okay. If you are taking nursing in school, if you work as a CNA, if you know nurses, you're gonna notice that there is more female than male, right? And there's always this thing that people say that a bunch of women is nothing but drama, and it's kind of true. You're gonna be working with a lot of female, and some of them gonna be hating on each other, and some of them gonna talk about other nurses, or about residents, or about family members. You're gonna have to have a difficult coworker with you anywhere you play. Anywhere you work, any place you work, there is always gonna be a difficult coworker. Okay. It don't matter if you work at Walmart, at a restaurant, at a nursing facility. It don't really matter. There's always a difficult person, and if you are this difficult coworker, let me tell you, you're not nice. I'm sorry, but it's not nice to work with a difficult person at work. It's not nice. It's stressful. It's contagious. You just make everybody mad as soon as they see you. Like, basically, not really. I'm just saying. But yeah, I used to have this, I'm not gonna say names, obviously, but at one place that I've worked at a few places now, there was this girl who, I don't know, like, I'm not gonna say that I hated that girl, but as soon as she walked in the building, you could basically feel the negative attitude. Like you could feel it, the negative energy coming in the door. Like you could actually feel it. And I was like so frustrated, so mad when she worked, because she just made everybody mad. Like her attitude, the way she worked, the way she talked to residents, it was like hard not to hate on her, you know? Like it was just so hard. But you have to be calm, you have to be professional, and you are here to take care of the residents. You are there to take care of the patients, not the co-workers. So yes, you're gonna have to deal with these bad co-workers, and you just keep yourself. Like you just keep your personal decisions, your personal feelings to yourself. Be professional. If you're having a bad day and you have to work, leave the bad energy out the door. Like don't bring your bad negative energy with you to work, because you're gonna make everybody's day worst. Like believe it or not, you're gonna make everybody's day worst. Don't talk about your coworker. Don't do it. It's hard not to. Don't talk about your coworker. If you are like me, and if you don't like team working, which is kind of bad to say, but the reason I don't like team working is because I had to do all the work most of the time and nobody helped me. So I decided to do myself and decided to do my my own people and my own residents, and just I mean, I don't want to sound like this, but you have to do yourself. Like you have to do your job. Don't pay attention to negative stuff. Don't pay attention to negative energy. Don't pay attention to negative people, because the more you put attention to them, it's gonna be worse. So that's just all I'm gonna say. Be professional and be happy. I mean, like, you're there for your residents, not for the coworkers. But if you happen to have like a problem, you have to go to the nurse, and the nurse will go to the supervisor, and like chain of command. But yeah, always be very, very professional and do your job. Number 9. Okay, we're almost done. Number 9 is salary. I feel like this depends where you live. In the state that I live, I think a CNA makes anywhere from like 9 to like 16 an hour, which is it's kind of good for a CNA. I mean, we could make more, but it's not like you're gonna be working every minute during 8 hours. I mean, you're gonna have some bad days, you're gonna have some good days, but I think it's a pretty average salary for the work that you're gonna be doing. Number 10, and the last one, it says describe a time when you did not get along with a nurse. I don't know if I should talk about this. Okay, so one time that I did not get along with a nurse, I won't say that I did not get along with a nurse, but I will say that it was a pretty awkward situation where I just wanted to leave the room because of this nurse. So basically one day, this nurse came to me and asked me, is this patient under your charge? And I was like, yes, I'm the CNA for this patient. So she was like, okay, I need you to go with me in the room to do some care for this patient. So I was like, okay, I'll go with you. And then she told me, by the way, I don't talk to this patient. Okay, why? Can I know why? Like, can you tell me why? And she was like, the nurse was like, because this patient has reported me so many times, has gotten me in trouble so many times, and this is why I need somebody to go with me to this patient's room. So I was like, okay. So we went in the room. I introduced myself. I was like, hello, how you doing? My name is Juana. We're gonna do this. So, normal. So she started doing the care on the resident, and the resident decides to start asking questions about the care that the nurse was given to this resident. So basically the patient was like, why are you doing this, like this type of care? What does this helps for? Just just making questions, like important questions. I think they were important questions. Like the patient just wanted to know what was going on with its body. So the whole time this patient was asking questions, the nurse didn't say anything. Like the nurse just kept ignoring the patient, and that was just driving me crazy. But I was like, okay, she said she wasn't gonna talk to this patient, but it was being like, she was being so rude to this patient. So we were there for a few, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes, and the patient kept asking questions, and the nurse wouldn't answer the question. So I was like, okay, everything silently. So we got to a point where the patient was like so pissed, like so upset that the nurse won't answer the questions. So this patient decided to get mad. So the patient gets mad and starts cursing the nurse, not me, but cursing the nurse, and calling her the B word, and calling her rude, ASSB. And the whole time I was just like I want to walk out of the room, for real. It was so uncomfortable. Like the patient just was cursing the nurse the entire time, and she kept ignoring the patient. So I was like, oh my god, this is so rude, like so rude, for real, like so awkward. So the patient asked me to talk to the DON, to my boss. So I was like, okay, I'll tell my boss to come and talk to you as soon as we finishing with the care. So as soon as we finish, the nurse walked straight out of the room and went to my boss's office. So I was literally walking behind her, because I was gonna call the nurse I was gonna call the DON, my boss, to come and talk to the patient. So when I got to the office, I heard the nurse telling my boss this story, but like in her own words, if you know what that means. Like she was not lying most of the time, but she wasn't being like completely honest. Basically the nurse was telling my boss that the patient was cursing her out, and that she was only explaining what she was doing. I'm just like, basically you ignore this patient for the whole 20 minutes that we were there, So it just really drive me so crazy. Like I was so mad, and I did tell my boss, like I was like, this is not what happened. The nurse kept ignoring the patient, which you ain't supposed to, but she told me that she was not gonna talk to the patient. I can't even talk. That she was not gonna talk to the patient because this patient had gotten her in trouble a few times before. So it just I mean, it was nothing personal against the nurse, but like it was a pretty awkward situation that I wish I never was in. And after that, I was like, I'm not going with you. I told the nurse this. I was like, I'm not going with you anymore to a patient's room because it's a very, very awkward situation that I don't need to be in. It's very awkward. It's very sad when you're ignoring a patient. And it's even more sad that she lied to my boss to cover her back from getting in trouble. So don't do this, don't just be the mean nurse. I mean, if you don't like your job, if you don't like what you're doing, just quit. But I mean, I don't know, it was just the most awkward situation I've ever been, like at a workplace, for real. So this is everything for today. I know it's like super big video, and I know I had many problems with talking to the camera, but I'm trying to get used to it. I hope you like this video, and I hope you subscribe to my channel because I would love to have you in here. I'm gonna try to make more videos about nursing, CNA related, and hopefully you will like them. Again, I'm just learning, I'm just starting with this channel, so I really hope you be patient with me, like be very patient with me. Give me some time to get more into the YouTube thing. And yeah, I mean, that's basically everything from my experience. I have like many stories I can tell you guys about places where I've worked, and about people who I've worked with, and about residents that I've taken care of, and most of them are very good stories. So if you would like to hear any type of stories, or if you would like to know anything about CNA or anything about nursing careers or college, or just about that, just let me know. I really hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you subscribe to my channel because I'm really trying, to deliver the message, and I'm really trying to just share my experience with you guys. So I hope you like it. Bye.